We had another race to prove fair and short for the infinite time that Red Bull isn't the fastest car on the grid, and this entire grid is just filled with bunch of Bottlejobs who are now tormenting us with this every weekend.
Good stuff, Max.
No, come on, stop this shit.
Max Verstappen didn't have the fastest car. He was keeping the car away from going over the curbs. He made a mistake during his pursuit to overtake Osama and was overtaken by Norris. He wasn't even hitting the fastest laps throughout the race, but still, he went on to win. Hello and welcome to the review of the Canadian Grand Prix 2024. My name is Eben and you are watching the Pit Lane Chronicles. This victory of Max Verstappen wouldn't have been possible if not for certain culprits. Let's look at some of them. Criminal number 1, Osama bin Russell and the Mercedes. Osama delivered the fastest lap in the qualifying and got the pole cause he did it first. You know what? Wunderbar. The race starts and the Brit leads and defends well against Max. And then somehow after the 15th lap, McLaren gets a booster on whom we will be shitting later on. Russell gets overtaken by Norris, who loses his calm and misses the final chicane to allow Gamer Boy to overtake him.
Great, almost killed myself.
He then later makes 2 more mistakes which led to him falling below midfield turn. On top of it, he was Osama planing in the cool down room. And the question, ladies and gentlemen, did he manage to prevent the Gamer Boy from winning?
No!
Was he responsible for the Gamer Boy winning?
Absolutely.
Next we move on to suspect number 2, Lando Norris. Lando Norris along with Oscar Piastri starts on inters with higher tyre pressure, which meant that they weren't super fast in the wet conditions, but eventually got faster as the track dried up. He made an eventual brilliant overtake on the Gamer Boy and got hold of the Osama bin Russell as well. And then Liberty happened. Logan Sargent crashed, which led to an SE. At this point, Lando was 300 meters away from the pit entry when the safety car sign got displayed, which means he was driving too well to miss the pit entry.
A few moments later.
Eventually, McLaren decided to pit him 2 laps later, which still was fine, but then that wet pit exit and the cold tires made impossible to catch up with Max at the exit. So, was he responsible for the Gamer Boy winning?
Absolutely.
Then, culprit number 3, Lewis Midfielton. Lewis Midfielton was finishing with top laps throughout the final practice sections and seemed to be the fastest car on the grid at this track. But then they had a lousy qualifying which got him starting at 7th. In the race, the Mercedes gave him the hards instead of mediums. This brings me to the conspiracy theory that has been floating around on F1 Twitter regarding Lewis Midfielton. Is he actually getting sabotaged by Toto and company?
No! No! No!
Lewis later apologizes to the team and his fans by saying that this was one of the worst races he has driven. That's okay, Lewis. Don't be so hard on yourself. You started 7th and finished 4th. That's progress. But ladies and gentlemen, the point is, he gave us hope, flopped hard on Saturday, couldn't overtake Sigma Alonso, but did he fail to prevent another Max win in that good car after promising FP sessions?
Absolutely.
Okay, I might be too harsh, but then that's what justice is. We now move to the culprit number 4, who's working inside the house. We come to the Gamer Boy's teammate, the Mexican defense of ludicrous, Checo Perez. He gives us a brilliant Saturday by qualifying 16th. Let's look at some of the previous qualifying sessions by Checo Perez. Perez qualified 16th in Monaco 2 weeks back. Before that, he qualified 11th in Imola. That's 3 consecutive races with no Q3 appearance for the Minister of Ludicrous. On top of that, Red Bull Racing has given him a 2-year extension for the F1 fandom to listen to 2 more years of I don't know who is doing the better carry job for their team. Sigma Alonso for Aston Martin or Gamer Boy for Red Bull. Culprit number 5, Charles Leclerc and Ferrari.
But Ferrari were having a bad weekend anyway.
I know, but then this is a team that needs to be dragged to the International Court of Justice for tormenting the entire F1 fandom. Ferrari is a team which won the Monaco GP 2 weeks back, got hyped by the Italian and British media after one good weekend. Yes, they are also the culprits for this propaganda. Just after one win, Leclerc says that Ferrari might be ready for a title challenge. Cut to Canada this weekend, we have him starting at 11th.
No. Anyway.
Then he has an engine issue which makes him lose 5 tenths on the straight. He's asking to pit on lap 29th and is given hard, while the rest of the grid is on inters expecting more rain. You see that pause from Charles Leclerc? That, ladies and gentlemen, was a brief moment of him reconsidering his life choices. Unfortunately, that pit stop failed and he had to pit again in the 32nd lap. Both the Ferraris do not finish because Carlos Sainz has apparently regrown an appendix. Let's now move to the midfield, where Daniel Ricciardo was subjected to wild personal abuse from Jack Villeneuve, to which Danny Ric responded with a brilliant Saturday by qualifying 5th and finishing 8th on Sunday. Hold that, 1995 Indy 500 winner and 1997 Formula 1 champion petitioned to have Jack abuse Danny for the entire year at Sky so that Danny Ric realizes his true himself at the age of 34. In the middle of all that, I just felt bad for the Haas's, since they started off so well, reached top 5, and then Haas did have a bad pit stop. I mean, come on, the influence is just unreal. We next have the Spanish Grand Prix at Barcelona, where McLaren preferably should be the fastest car. But you know what? I just can't wait for